Hello, my name's Gux, Gooks, or Gookex, and today I'm going to be flying out the P-47D-28, my favorite US prop, and one of the best in the US tech tree. I'll be explaining a variety of strategies I use to get a 22 kill streak in this thing. The reason that this plane is so special comes from its battle rating, being 4.0. Now, you may be wondering, that's not that special, all the other P-47s are at this BR. However, the D-28 has a much stronger engine than the other P-47s, and in realistic, the D-28's actually placed at 4.7, while in arcade, it has the same BR as the other P-47s. The other P-47s were already very good, but the D-28 is essentially a free upgrade over the others. Some other things that this plane has is 8 50 caliber machine guns, which can be paired with American APIT tracer belts, which are just incredible for setting fires. Having 50 cals basically means it's immune to random cannon changes Gaijin makes, except of course, sound changes. Gaijin, please revert the gun sound changes. Every gun sounds like I'm playing Bloons Tower Defense. Anyway, its strong engine allows for good climb rate and allows you to energy trap everyone in the early game, which I'll explain how to do later. When you spawn in, climb, like I just did. Possibly the most important thing you can do in any prop. Altitude is an advantage. If you're higher up than the opponent, they can't reach you, and if they try, they die. That rhymes, so it's true. This applies to you as well. Don't pitch up for people of higher energy. This is the entire reason why spawn campers get so many kills against dumb people who pitch up immediately. Basically, the best way to kill everyone is to piss everyone off, so they pitch up for you. I like to pitch up at around 20 to 25 degrees at the start of the game and full wep. This should get you above most of the enemy. From here, target all the fighters. Kill these before going after bombers. If you have the energy advantage, one thing you can do is energy trap them. This maneuver is a bit more complex, but I'll explain it later. What I'm going to tell you right now is to learn how to rudder turn. Rudder turning is the most important skill for arcade. I made a quick 3-minute guide, I'll put it in the description or the card above. Now, back to energy trapping. The first thing you want to do when energy trapping is to obviously have more energy in the opponent. This is basically being either higher or faster than them. Notice how I'm above the entire enemy team here. The way I like to do it is to first take the head on, but make sure to pull off early. Unless you're dealing with multiple enemies, you can loop back and kill them. But only if you survive the head on. Plus, we want to preserve our plane as much as possible. In this situation, I'm inside their spawn and have multiple targets below me that are just free kills if I dive. However, I go for the 2 bombers here, with the highest energy. If I were to dive on the guys below me, I would open my 6 to these guys, who would now have the energy advantage. And even if they're just a bomber, I don't want to take the risk, and if they do chase me, I would sacrifice a ton of position by being forced to run away. I feel comfortable taking the energy fight with this Helldiver since I know nobody can easily third-party me since everyone is below me and would have to pitch up a lot. I first extend away so I have enough time to turn around, but then I notice the P-36 coming for me. I have to finish the Helldiver now or else I have to take a 2v1. I make a risky play. I take shots at the Helldiver and barely manage to merge with the P-36. I have the energy advantage, since I just dove a bunch and he had to climb up to me, so I pull vertical. If he comes up with me, I just dodge his nose one time and get the easy energy trap. In this case, it works out. He misses the shot, and now he's all out of energy, incapable of pulling lead, and now I'm just going to slowly turn in a circle above him until I can get a shot. I try to pull for the shot here, but unfortunately I'm just short. It's okay though, I still have the advantage, so I pull back up to do another loop. However, he decides to reverse his turn, and since he has a tight turning circle, I do the safe thing and turn the fight back to a 2 circle and go vertical again. He cannot follow me up, so I get the easy kill. To sum it up, you need to find a way to get a 2 circle fight, basically a rate fight where you rudder turn spiral upwards, and you can loop on over to get the free kill once they stall. Speaking of free kills, there's an IL-4 here. Make sure to take advantage of bombers and strike aircraft. Trace out their flight path by drawing a line with the guns. Now, I want to talk about positioning. Positioning is crucial in Warthunder. You want to be at higher altitude and preferably in a spot on the map where there's multiple targets. The easiest and often most consistent place to do this is the enemy spawn. There's a steady supply of targets which all spawn at predictable and usually lower altitudes. Now, the haters can say whatever they want about spawn camping, like, "Oh, but spawn camping is for no-lifes with no skill." But I can assure you, spawn camping only works if the enemy decides to be stupid and pitch up for you, which happens far too often. Spawn camping is also way harder than most people give credit for, and I bet half the people hating probably die before they can even get to the enemy spawn. Now in that last clip, I unfortunately get my engine yellowed by a helldiver I overcommit to, and I sacrifice too much of my energy away, and most of the enemy spawn is now aware of me, so I decided to just climb away. I don't want to deal with the never-ending horde of enemies at equal energy. However, I see this P-400 that's isolated, so that's just another free kill for me. Now, I have the energy advantage again, so I'm just going to start climbing back into their spawn. Now, the most difficult part of altitude management is that you need to manage it very precisely. Too high and people aren't interested in you and won't pitch up, and too low you get sniped by like 5 people. Here, I see some biplanes that are pitching up, so I take the head on. In scenarios like this, you want to take the head on and pitch back up in order to preserve energy. And also, this will set up an energy trap if they decide to turn for you. I fire a pretty big burst and get the kill since it's a biplane. I now loop up and around to make sure nobody can easily kill me while I turn, and I see a line of 3 enemies who just spawned, and they aren't aware of me. I quickly check the scoreboard to make sure nobody's about to spawn in, and I dive on them. You can see if people are about to spawn if they have the parachute icon and their plane suddenly changes. This means they're going to spawn in about 3 seconds. I didn't see any immediate threats, so I felt safe to dive. At this point, most of the enemies have escaped the spawn and are in the middle of the map, so I'm going to take this opportunity to reposition. I kill the Yak, kill the J1M1, and almost didn't see the biplane on my right. Luckily I do, and I get an additional free kill. In this case, if I didn't see the biplane and kept tunnel visioning onto the 109, he likely would have gotten onto my 6 and potentially could have gotten shots off. Now, it was only a biplane, but it could have been something much scarier. I emphasize again to have situational awareness. Use your free look key, which is by default C, to look around and when you're not actively fighting someone, like I'm doing here. Before you enter fights, use your minimap and also free look to check for enemies so you don't get third-partied. Be sure to check behind and above you, as these are often the most dangerous spots that enemies could be in. Utilize the distance from you to determine if they're flying away or towards you, and use that to determine if they're a threat. Our team has just wiped out the entire enemy team, and now they're all respawning, so I climb. Even though they spawn relatively low, they still have an energy advantage over me since I'm on the deck. By climbing, I can put myself in a good position. However, I overcommit and miss this lag 3, who dies to my teammate. I have now exposed my 6 to the enemy team. However, I just dove, so I still have the energy advantage, which I will use to extend away. I see this group of 3 fighters to my right, so I head towards them. Even if my team kills them first, I'll be closer to my team, which will help distract the people behind me, allowing me to turn around. I also check behind me to make sure they're not too close, and start fully focusing these 2 guys. I make sure to keep an eye on both of them, and will focus whoever turns first. In this case, it's the Key 43. While I miss at first, I hit this 6 shot afterwards, as he's too focused on my teammates. I turn back around to make sure the P-39 isn't on me, and I notice I could pick up a second kill. I take the head on, miss, but the P-39 dodges too wide and too early, so I hit another 6 shot on him. At this point, I start turning back towards the enemy horde, as my teammates have already started fighting them, so I'm safe to turn. I have 16 kills already, and I'm looking to expand that number. I charge directly at the group of enemy players that are focused on my team and climb a bit. As I move closer, I need to pay attention to all the enemies to make sure I'm not in danger. I then begin picking off whatever's closest to me, making sure to take note of other people that are approaching and switching targets appropriately. And just like that, an easy triple kill, and we're up to 19. I turn around looking for a 20th kill, and I see this B-34. Long story short, we don't get the kill. However, notice that I use this downtime to quickly reload my guns. Now, even though the P-47s have a monstrous 3,400 rounds of 50 cal, I just sprayed quite a lot at that B-34, and I haven't even reloaded all game, so I'm down to about 800. I know I'm going to need ammo for the upcoming engagement, so I take the time to reload. Bonus is that the 50 cals get the short reload time because they're 50 cals. I go head on with the Key 43, who goes for my teammate, so I full commit and light him on fire. Normally, I would pull off, but I try to get another shot due to the amount of teammates that are nearby. Unfortunately, I don't get it, and he ends up crashing somehow, and nobody gets the kill. I turn around and see two people, a MiG-3 and a biplane. The MiG-3 was a greater threat, but now he turned away, so I'm safe to go after either him or the biplane. He's more threatening to me, so I slide in behind him and start shooting. He makes the crucial mistake of turning. If he continued to fly straight and climb away using his energy advantage, he would be fine, and I would be dead. Without sufficient separation, turning around gives the enemy a free shot. Now, I see the J1N1 behind me, and I'm gonna apply what I just said to this fight. I don't turn immediately since he's too close and we get a shot, but I see him going for my teammate, which has created enough separation for me to turn in. He for some reason decides it's a good idea to go vertical in front of 5 people, bleeding all his energy away and giving me a free shot. At this point in the game, the enemy team is dead, and we have all the points capped. So I run down one more guy and get my 22nd kill. This was my personal best kill streak, and I'm so glad I got the sudden urge to record this game. Now to recap everything I said today. Learn rudder turning. It is so easy to do and increases your turning speed and energy retention by so much. Second, know positioning. Be higher up than the enemy and have the energy advantage in order to use rudder turning to get free dogfights. Third, situational awareness. Know who is around you and if they're a threat or not, and use this to determine who you want to fight. I hope you learned something today. Comment down below any questions you have and I will answer them. And now, cue the...